Please mention in the chat box. Am I audible? Is my screen visible? So in today's session, we will continue with the chapter 21, page number 226. Those who have the textbook, page number 226. Those who do not have the textbook, just listen to the class, how it goes. Food groups, type 1 and type 2 nutrition. And slightly we'll just brush upon the dietary recommendations as well, dietary reference intake. Calculations we will see in the next class because it is a little bit more detailed version. Okay. Bedside calculations we will continue in the next class. So here we'll cover the basics, some basic knowledge that not just for pediatric nutrition, even for adult nutrition or in any age group, if you are looking for the nutritional guidance. Okay. The knowledge of these food groups, type 1, type 2 nutrients, and dietary reference intake is important. Okay. So, beneath the topic, food groups and food items. Here we will just see what are the different types of food groups and food items we have, based on which we can create an entire menu plan or diet plan. Okay. So the first major food group is cereals. Even in Indian cuisine, any type of Indian cuisine, North Indian, South Indian, okay, whichever Indian cuisine you take, whichever staple diet you take, cereals make up a majority of the Indian diet. Okay, energy from cereals. So it's a staple diet in India: rice, wheat, maize. Okay, smaller grains called millets like ragi, jowar, bajra. Okay, and they lack this essential amino acid called lysine. Okay, but rice is rich in lysine, and there are certain cereals that are better in other nutrients as compared to other cereals. Okay, and parboiling of the rice, it helps to retain as much as vitamins, and it will increase the shelf life of the rice as well, and the ability to resist insects. So parboiled rice has these advantage over polished white rice. Okay, the off flavor due to parboiling can be reduced by sodium chromate. Okay, it is marketed like that. The polished rice has low levels of vitamin B complex because the husk of the rice is removed, so the vitamin B complexes tend to be lost while washing the rice, while steaming the rice, and while draining the boiled rice. In these three different stages, you lose a lot of vitamin B complexes. Okay, so that's basic about cereals. Wheat lacks lysine and threonine, but rice has high amount of lysine. Small cereals are called like millets, for example, ragi. It is rich in minerals like calcium, iodine. Cereals do not have vitamin A, but it can be fortified. Okay, it can be genetically engineered with vitamin A. There are yellow rices available in South Africa. Okay, which is fortified with beta carotene. Okay, it is genetically engineered plant variety. And except for maize, yellow maize, no other cereals have vitamin A, which is alpha carotene, is what maize has. That's the reason why maize has that yellow color in it. Okay. Next is legumes, pulses as well, legumes and pulses. They are rich sources of protein, and pulses meet the protein requirements of vegetarians as well, but they lack vitamin A and vitamin C. But if you germinate the legumes, okay, like sprouts, okay, they can retain vitamin C as well. Pulses are deficient in methionine, and cereal pulse combination can have the supplementary effect of protein, because what nutrients cereals lack, legumes can provide. What nutrients legumes lack, cereals can provide. So, having a cereal and legume combination acts like a supplementary nutrient. Okay, they complement each other. So, the cereal pulse combination, it should be around 4 is to 1 or 3 is to 1 proportion. That is enough. Okay, two parts of cereals, one part of pulse. And in pulses, soybean contains 43 gram of protein per 100 gram. So soybean is a really good source of protein for vegetarians. Roots and tubers, rich in carbohydrate, they are good sources of energy like potatoes, tapioca, sweet potato, carrots, radish, okay, turnips, beetroot. They all come under the roots and tuber category. And the carrots contain beta carotene as well. That's why they have that orange color. Potatoes has vitamin C. Vegetables, they add variety to the diet. They provide minerals, vitamins, and fiber to the diet plan. Green, yellow, orange, and red vegetables are good sources of beta carotene. Green leafy vegetables are good sources of calcium, iron, vitamin C, vitamin B complex, and they are very cheap to buy as well. Green leafy vegetables. At least 50 grams of green leafy vegetables should be consumed on a daily basis. They can be easily grown in your backyard as well, in a kitchen garden as well. So you can get a year-round supply of different forms of green leafy vegetables. Fruits, rich sources of vitamins and fiber. Citrus, citrus fruits are rich in vitamin C like amla, guava, amruk. Okay, dried fruits are like dates, raisins. They supply an iron. Plantains and jackfruit supply good source of energy. Seasonal fruits should be encouraged, and papaya is kind of a fruit that you can get throughout the year if you if you grow it in your backyard. Okay, and it can supply fruit throughout the year. Papaya, okay, papaya trees. Then dairy products, milk and milk products. Milk is a good source of protein, calcium, and vitamins, but it lacks iron and vitamin C. Human milk has high lactose content as compared to cow's milk, and buffalo milk has high fat content as compared to cow milk and human milk, and mostly it is saturated fat. So, in a long term use, it's not good. Buffalo milk. Non vegetarian protein, egg, fish, meat, all are the examples of non vegetarian protein. Eggs supply good quality protein, vitamins, and fat, but it is deficient in carbohydrates and vitamin C. Fish and meat and chicken are good sources of protein and vitamins. Fish is a really good source of calcium and omega 3 fatty acid, and it can protect you against cardiovascular disease as well. Among non vegetarian diet, eggs and fish are the best sources of protein and omega 3 fatty acids. Fats, oils, nuts, and oil seeds, good source of protein, vitamins. Visible fats like oils, butter, ghee, hydrogenated oils like dalda, seed oil, sunflower oil. Okay, they are visible oils. Rich sources of energy as well. Red palm oil is good source of beta carotene, vitamin A. Hydrogenated vegetable oils are solid fat and they have a long good shelf life like dalda, but they contain more trans fat, okay, which can lead to cholesterol. So you have to use it in very controlled portion. Next, we have sugars. Sugar in the form of honey, jaggery. Okay, they are also energy concentrates. Jaggery is a rich source of iron, but excessive intake of sugar is not desirable. According to WHO, 25 grams of sugar, visible sugar, as well as non-visible sugar, you can have in your diet as an adult. 25 grams. It's almost 5 to 6 tablespoons of sugar on a daily basis. Okay. But based on your family history, if you have a family history of diabetes, it's better to cut down that 25 gram as well. Just stick to 3 to 4 spoons of sugar on a daily basis, as if you are an adult. Next, we have condiments and spices like hing, asafoetida, cardamom, chilies, cloves, coriander, cumin seeds, fenugreek seeds, garlic, ginger, nutmeg, pepper, poppy seeds, tamarind, turmeric. Okay, they all increase palatability of the food. Flavor profile of the food is increased by them. Some of them are good source of antioxidants as well, minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, selenium. Next, we have salt. Generally, 2.5 gram per day of common salt is recommended. In salt restricted diet, those who suffer from hypertension or kidney disorders, 0.5 to 1 gram of salt is daily recommended. Iodized salt is preferred, double fortified salt as well. Double fortified means not just iodine, but iron also is fortified into salt. That is double fortified salt. Then water intake should be optimum, at least 5 to 6 glasses per day in toddlers, 8 to 10 glasses per day in older children. There is a holiday cigar formula. We'll learn these formulas in the next class. So based on the weight of a person, for every 25 kilograms, 1 liter of water you should have. So if a person who is 50 kg, okay, they should have at least 2 liters of water. Those who are 75 kg should have at least 3 liters of water. So based on your weight, you can calculate. But nobody should have more than 3 liters of water. Coming to type 1 nutrients, they are also called functional nutrients. They can be stored in the body as a body store, reduces in concentration with deficiency. But growth failure is not a future. Even if you're deficient in functional nutrients, you can still grow. Your height can still increase. Specific signs of deficiency will be seen as symptoms. They are variable in breast milk as well. If the mother is deficient, functional nutrients will also be deficient in the breast milk. The type 2, we have growth nutrients. So has no body store. So they have to be taken on a daily basis. Stable tissue concentration is available in growth nutrients. No specific signs of deficiency until it is too late. Growth failure is a dominant feature and it is stable in breast milk. Even though the mother is deficient, but the breast milk will still have stable amount of growth nutrients. So what are the type 1 nutrients? All vitamins, vitamin A, D, E, K, okay, B complexes, vitamin C, they all come under type 1 nutrients. Most trace elements like iodine, copper, calcium, selenium, folate, cobalamin, okay, trace elements. Calcium as well is a type 1 nutrient. Coming to type 2 nutrient, examples are nitrogen, sulfur, all your essential amino acids, potassium, sodium, magnesium, phosphorus, zinc, water, dietary sources of energy including carbohydrate and fat. Okay, they all come under growth nutrients. If these nutrients are less, it could lead to growth. It will impact the growth of the child. You may have a stunted child. The child whose height is not as par with their peers. In type 1 nutrient deficiency, if a child is suffering from type 1 nutrient deficiency, growth will not be affected. The child will still grow like a normal child in terms of height and weight, but they will suffer from a variety of disease conditions, symptomatic disease conditions. So nutrients that you require for catch-up growth and immunity, if a child is deficient, you have identified the deficiency. Now you want to correct the deficiency. Okay. So retarded growth can exhibit a period of rapid growth after a growth retardation when you're trying to correct it. Okay, it will lead to rapid growth. Once the growth deficit is removed, then you have to slowly increase the height and weight of the child, and the height and weight of the child is also at a higher velocity than normal because the child is trying to catch up. Okay, a child who has suffered from growth retardation, when you correct the growth retardation with proper nutrients deficiency correction, the child will rapidly try to catch up. Okay, then the growth, the height weight increases quite rapidly at a velocity which is much higher than a normal child's growth range. Okay, so supplementation should be proportional and balanced with type 2 nutrients to fill the gap of height and weight. If the nutrients are not given, is not optimum, it can also result in imbalanced growth, higher risk of adulthood diseases like cardiovascular diseases, functional diseases, asthma, okay, renal diseases. These can also increase if the uh, nutrients provided for catch up is not adequate. So these are the uh, key nutrients you have to take care of, you have to focus on while a child is in a catch up stage. Just give me a moment. The judicious supply of all food groups should be given for the child who is trying to catch up in terms of growth and immunity. Type 1 and type 2 nutrients should be included in all their meal plans. Zinc should be focused because zinc deficiency is kind of related to stunted growth. So if you correct the zinc deficiency, stunting and growth retardation can be prevented. Vitamin A should be focused here because you have to prevent blindness and eyesight issues. Vitamin B complexes, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, selenium, copper, iron, and all your immunonutrients like glutamine, arginine, valine, leucine, lactoferrin. Glutamine, arginine, valine, leucine, these all are essential amino acids. Okay, lactoferrin, it's a that is found in breast milk. Okay, so all these immunonutrients should be provided for growth and immunity, catch up growth and immunity. So till here, is it clear to all? Is it clear to all till here? Physical, not just the physical activity of the person, but also the season, how much sweat they are, like how much sweat loss is there, how much urine loss is there. These all factors impact how much water you should consume on a daily basis. So coming to the next chapter, chapter 22, dietary references. So briefly, we'll touch upon the introduction part of it. The calculation part of it we will do in the next class. So dietary reference intake, it kind of gives you an insight on a daily basis how much healthy people should consume, their calories, their nutrients, vitamins, minerals, etc. Okay, how much physical activity they should be having. Okay, in a tabulated form, in a well calculated and tabulated form, you get these details, this data from the DRI values. Okay, so are dietary standards for healthy people only, and it does not apply for people who have diseases or who are suffering from some nutrition deficiency. These standards will not apply. This is only for general healthy public of a country. Okay, so we have estimated average requirements, EAR, recommended daily allowances, RDA, adequate intakes, AI, tolerable upper intake levels, UL. Okay, so these are the four main salient features, four main values of dietary reference intakes. So looking at this graph, you will find it a little bit confusing, but if you focus here, EAR, EAR is supposed to make sure that the average nutrient intake for half of the population is met. Okay, so if a country is planning their budget, or if the country is planning to procure nutritional food through export or import, okay, or through agricultural policies, okay, how much food supply they are going to plan for their population. Okay, if they are making this decisions based on the EAR, they will only be able to meet the requirements of half the population, not the majority of the population. Okay, so EAR will give you the average nutritional intake to meet the requirements of half of the healthy individuals in a particular stage of life or gender group, male, female, or whomever. Only half of a healthy individual's daily requirements will be met. The other half may be either deficient, will stay deficient, or they may suffer from toxicity. Okay, only half of the population's daily requirements can be met through using EAR values. Okay, RDA. What is RDA? Here, RDA, you can see here, RDA is covering maximum of the population. Okay, EAR, you can see it is covering only, or this orange part, danger of deficiency is there because half of the population is undernourished. Only half of the population is well nourished, half of the population is undernourished. So here, if you follow the the values below EAR, you will be deficient. If you follow EAR, half of your requirements are met, half of your requirements are not met. Okay, you still need an upgrade. So what is the next upgrade? That is RDA. RDA, when a country is following RDA, okay, to make sure that their nutritional guide principles, plans, laws, okay, how much budget they have for import export of food to meet the requirements of the people, of the population. If they follow the RDA value, they will be able to meet 97 to 98% needs of the entire population. The remaining 2-3% are people who are athletes who have higher needs than the average people, or people who suffer from some chronic diseases, who have very lower needs. For example, nephropathy patients, their protein requirements is less, much lower than a healthy person's requirement. Okay, so the remaining 2% or 3% that is left out are people who are either athletes who require much higher amount of calories, vitamins and minerals as compared to the general population, or people who are suffering from some serious chronic diseases, senior citizens, etc., who require very less amount of food. Okay, but if you follow RDA, you are able to meet 97 to 98% of your nutritional requirements. You will be free of disease conditions, deficiency based disease conditions. Okay. And what is AI? AI is the average intake or adequate intake recommended daily on based on your uh, based on the energy expenditure, based on the age group, gender group. Okay, so average or mean intake level is what AI recommends. Okay, it's just the average. And then UL, you can see here UL is the upper limit. So if you come in the upper limit category, you do not have to cross up the upper limit. If you cross the upper limit, you may suffer from toxicity. If you stay below the upper limit, you are in the optimal and safe zone. You can see here the blue zone, the blue color zone, which contains the RDA, the AI. Okay, it's the safe zone. When your nutrients, when the nutrition requirements are met in this blue zone, you are safe from any disease conditions, any deficiency based disease conditions. You are meeting all your requirements. But as soon as you cross the upper limit and you reach the pink side or the red side, okay, you come into the state of danger of toxicity. Okay, access needs, risk of adverse effect happens with increasing nutrients, and if the nutrients is inadequate, there is risk of inadequacy. In both these extremes, it could lead to health issues. Okay, so staying between your RDA and upper limit is the best way to make sure that you have a very nutrient focused lifestyle. So this was about the dietary reference regarding nutrients and macronutrients, micronutrients, etc. But what about energy? Okay, coming to the energy, the dietary reference intake has also certain recommendations on energy intake. There are two recommendations. First is the estimated energy requirement, EER. It is an estimate of how many calories a person needs to consume on average each day to stay healthy based on their age, sex, height, weight, physical activity level, etc. Okay, so sedentary lifestyle, moderately active lifestyle. Okay, age, for example, if it is a toddler, preschooler, adolescent, adult woman, lactating woman, pregnant woman, senior citizens. Okay, what are these categories, and each category based on their energy expenditure, we give them an estimated energy requirement that they should consume on a daily basis. Okay, so that is estimated energy requirement. So we are not saying how much energy they should get from carbohydrates, proteins or fats. We are just giving them the total energy that this group of people from a particular age group with a particular activity level, they should have this particular energy intake on a daily basis. Okay, but if you want to dig further deep into it, okay, you, for example, 2000 kilocalories. Okay, but from where you should get this 2000 kilocalories? Only macronutrients can give you. Carbohydrates, proteins and fats can give you energy. Vitamins and minerals don't give any energy. Okay, only macronutrients like carbohydrates, protein and fat can give you energy. Which macronutrient should give you how much percent of energy, that you should know. So for that knowledge, there comes acceptable macronutrient distribution ranges, AMDR. Okay. So because of this range, you see the pie chart here. That is an example of AMDR, acceptable macronutrient distribution ranges. So it is calculated range of how much energy from carbohydrate, how much energy from fat, how much energy from protein is recommended for a healthy diet. And people who do not meet the AMDR may have increased risk of developing any health complications. For example, if your energy requirements from carbohydrates is more than 80%, okay, you are risking yourself to get diabetes. If your energy requirement from fat is more than 40% or 50%, fats are giving you majority of the energy, you're risking yourself for cardiovascular diseases, atherosclerosis, okay, cholesterol issues. Okay, so like that. So if you stay in this healthy range of 45 to 65% of energy comes from carbohydrates, 20 to 35 comes from fat, 10 to 35 comes from protein. If you stay in this range, you are in a healthy situation where you will not be developing health complications because of imbalanced energy consumption. Okay, so this is the DRI recommendation of energy intake. So DRI has two recommendations. One is for the nutrients, one is for the energy intake. Bedside calculations we will check next week.